Welcome to the Forever Cash Life Real Estate Investing Podcast with your hosts, Jack and Michelle Bosch. Together, let's uncover the secrets to building true wealth through real estate and living a purpose-driven life.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it's at least the morning still in Arizona. Mountain time here. It's 11 a.m. It's 10 a.m. Pacific, or 10 a few minutes afterwards. I'm super excited to come to you again this week for a Winning Wednesday. So I hope you guys are doing fantastic. First of all, it's the first Winning Wednesday in the new year. Yay, 2020 is over. Or sad 2020 is over. I know, depending on how the year was for you. For me, I'm glad it's over from a pandemic point of view. I'm sad it's over from a business point of view because, again, last year was one of the most fantastic years that we have ever lived through from a business point of view in the land flipping world. I know that doesn't sound fair to everyone listening, and they're saying like, well, what are you talking about? My business faltered, my business crashed, I lost my job. And think, yes, from that point of view, I'm glad 2020 is over. I'm glad we can move forward in a why not us? Why not now? Exactly, loving. So I'm glad we left 2020 behind. I'm glad from that point of view, all these kind of economic turbulences are hopefully soon to be a thing of the past. But from a purely land flipping point of view, 2020 was one of the most epic years that we've ever seen. And I predict 2021 is going to be even better. And here's why. Right. Before we go into the Winning Wednesday, we're going to talk about how to self-close and how in a deal and what to tell your buyer. Is the reason why I think 2021 is going to be even better is the following. It takes 28 days to create a habit. 28 days to create a habit. So we have gone to a full year almost, or 9 months now, of a pandemic, right? The shutdown in March, now we're in January, it's 9 months. So, or 10 months, because it was early March. So we are now for full 10 months for a pandemic. That's way more than 28 days. So people have gotten used to order out food. Like I went to a restaurant on Sunday. We come back from vacation. We were on Hawaii last week. Come back from a restaurant on Sunday. We didn't feel like going out. Guess what? We usually go out all the time. We never ordered in until prior to the pandemic. Now, 3 out of 4 times we order in. Right? We still don't cook much at home, but we now order in. So I just drove over a mile over to one of our favorite pizza places and bought some pizza and a sandwich and brought it home. The restaurant was almost empty. Their stack of pickup boxes was like that high, right? Multiple stacks. So they had like 15 orders of pickup stuff there, but only 5 people sitting in a restaurant that has like 30 tables, right? So a habit has been created. Another habit has been created. And the habit is to either stay home or to stay separate from people. I can't tell you how frustrating it was in Hawaii to walk along the beach. It's open air. There's a breeze going on. People respect. There's not crowds. So guess what? In the hotel, I was wearing my mask. As soon as I left the hotel, I took my mask off because there's nobody coming. You see the people. They took like 15-foot circles around us as if I had the pest. That's a negative thing. We are losing touch with each other. We're losing trust with each other. The stares, the evil eye that I got by not daring to not wear my mask in public while there's nobody within 50 feet from me is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, that's a different subject though. But another thing is happening is that because of that's an implication of that, people have developed a habit of wanting more space than they had before. So I predict there's going to be a continuous stream of people that don't want to just have space in their 4 walls where they live, but they also want to have space when they go out. So they're not going to go and attend the big crowded events anymore. Like what's coming up in next month is the Phoenix Open golf tournament, which usually has literally 600,000 people attending a 4-day golf tournament. In some of these days have 200,000. The top 2 days, or the top day, Saturday, has usually 200,000 people attending that golf tournament. It's the rowdiest and it's the busiest and it's the largest golf tournament in the world, right? But obviously it's not going to be happening that way. It's going to be social distance with very few people. But I think for a long time, people are not going to go attend these things where everyone is crowded. It's going to take years for that to recover. But what people will do instead is their need for space will drive them to buy land on the outskirts of town, to buy their 10 acres out in the green, out in the nature that is like 10 miles away from a little town with actual grocery stores and some restaurants and things like that, from a lake and stuff like that, or the path of growth being 5-10 miles outside. Instead of buying that condo downtown, they'll buy the 2 acres 10 miles outside of town, and they build their retirement home in there, they built their house there, and they commute from there into the city instead of commuting from the center out into the suburbs. Now again, not everyone will do that, but it's enough if 5% of the population will do that. If it's enough, if it's a shift of 2%, 5% of the population going from one to the other, with 300 million people in the United States, 1% is 3 million people. 5% is 15 million people making a slight shift in what their preferences are. That's an avalanche of customers coming to us. That's my prediction for 2021, guys. So I predict that 2021 will be even better in the land business than 2020. And if you missed this right now, because now we're up to several dozen people watching here, then make sure you go back and listen to, after you're done, listen to the first 10 minutes or 5 minutes, 7 minutes that I'm into this session right now. Okay, so that's 6 minutes right now. So make sure you, that's the reason. People have created a habit of needing space. They have developed a habit. It takes 28 days to develop a habit. We have 10 months of social separation, of being indoctrinated with it's bad to be in big crowds. So people want, this is going to continue on. This is going to continue potentially for a long time. So with that said, we are prime position to have an absolute fantastic 2021, 2022, really no matter what happens in the real estate industry. So with that said, let's talk about some deal strategies. Let's give you a tip on, as Winning Wednesday, we always talk about something in specific. So today's Winning Wednesday is about how to self-close on a deal and what to tell your buyer. I'm helping one of my own coaching students right now through a deal like that, actually to 3 deals. One is closed with a title company. One is a quick cash deal where the buyer wants to pay with a credit card. And one is a seller financing deal for about I actually need to look it up. I have the numbers actually right here, where they want to buy the property for $27,000 and they want to do a seller financing deal with an $8,000 down payment. Now that student paid a little bit more for the property, but it's a great combination of things because they're about to make $30,000 on a cash deal. They're about to make $5,000 on the second cash deal. So that's $35,000 in profit. And then they're about to make and then they're about to get an $8,000 down payment on a $17,000 property that they're selling for $27,000. So it's not a great deal, that third one. It would be a better cash deal, but it's a great down payment. So what we have determined in this situation is the following. The big $30,000 cash deal he's doing as through a title company. Because the title company ends up costing him $2,500 in cost. And it's not a double closing, it's a quick transactional funding deal where money came in to fund the deal, and a few days later the buyer, it's really a bridge financing deal where the money came in, and it's taking about 2 weeks right now for the buyer to follow through. The buyer's following through right now, filling out the documents today and wiring the money in tomorrow, and the deal's closing on Friday, right? So that's at least the plan, knock on wood, knock on every wood I can find, particularly scientific wood with a head here, and yeah. So with that, by Friday, the student is going to have $30,000 in cash profit sitting in the bank. So the second deal, though, is a small deal. It's a deal that he's buying for $700 or $800, and it's selling for $5,000. So therefore, it's actually not a $5,000 deal. It's a $3,000 deal after everything is involved. So $3,000 profit. It's a small little deal. It's one of a package of 5 properties that came in. 2 were super cheap. The other 3 are the ones that are selling for $27,000. So the total profit on the package of 5 is going to be about $13,000. However, how are we going to do this deal? So this deal we're going to do with he's going to do with our assistants, obviously in coaching program. We help our students through this process. We teaching them exactly how to do every step along the way. And that is, we are doing, if you're interested in coaching, by the way, set up an appointment at landcoaching.com. Again, landcoaching.com. Let me actually put that in here, landcoaching.com. All right, so put it in there and then talk to our team if that is something you want to do. So with that said, and also don't forget, we are 12 days away of starting another Land Profit Masterclass. 5-day masterclass taking you from zero all the way to knowing how you are giving you exact details on how to take you from zero all the way to being the CEO of your business, knowing how to automate your business and how to run your business in a way that you can literally scale that to 6 figures. So go to landprofitmaster.com, again, Land Profit Masterclass or Land Profit Master, and register for that. You got to be registered to get the full benefits of everything that's part of that. So let me also put that in here, landprofitmaster.com. All right, so you go register for that. So having said that, the second deal now, the way we do that, it's a $5,000 purchase, a sale price. It's a $1,000, let's say, purchase price, $800. So it doesn't make sense to go to a title company, particularly in that county, in that state. The title company that he's working with is very expensive. So that title company charges like $2,500 to close on a deal. That would destroy the deal. $1,000 purchase price plus $2,500 is $3,500. You're selling it for $5,000, and then there's title insurance cost on the selling side too. There's no profit left, right? So what do? We close on that deal in-house. Now, typically, if you're in coaching, we ask you to do all the deals through a title company at the very beginning, so that you can focus on the mailing, on the making offers, on getting the deals, on the marketing, and repeating that process, right? County selection, getting on the 5 steps, right? Selecting your county, getting your list, mailing your letters, making the offers, and listing the properties. That's the 5 things you need to focus on. You don't need to learn how to do a title search and how to do a closing without using a title company. However, if you're in coaching and you have a deal like that, our team of coaches will walk you through that. We'll help you through that process, right? So make sure that you let them know, you keep them informed, you schedule your calls, you let them know what your challenges are so that we can help you through that process, right? That's why we call ourselves the Harvard of land flipping, or also the 4 seasons of land flipping, right? The 4 Seasons Resort is the best, it's the number one top luxury chain of hotel chain in the world, right? There's 100 5-star hotels where the service is absolutely impeccable. We want to be that for you, right? Obviously, if you have any issues, let us know so we can fix them, because we're dedicated to you and your success. So with that said, we are in this particular deal. What are we going to do? We're going to do the following, right? We're going to go and we already went to the seller and says like, hey, Mr. Seller, here's what we want to do. What we want to do is we send them a sale agreement, and the sale agreement says that it's $5,000, and we're asking for a $500 escrow deposit that they can pay if they want to by credit card too. If you accept credit cards, you can do that. If you want to accept credit cards, you can apply for a credit card account under Land Profit CC. So Land Profit, C as in credit, C as in card, landprofitcc.com. You can apply for a credit card with one of our partners, a credit card company partner that knows how to get you approved for land payments. And then you go, but in this case, perhaps they want to do a $500 down payment by credit card. Then the rest they're just going to write a check for. Okay, great. So we signed a contract with them, but now the seller discovered that our student is not the owner of the property. So he's asking, so what's the deal? Why are you not listed as the owner of the property? Right? So the answer of the student was, and this is how you handle it, was a perfect answer. The answer of the student was, hey, listen, we got this property in escrow right now. So by the time, that's why I put our contract out for a close of escrow of January 30th. So all the documents are already with title. All the documents are already being signed right now. So within the next few days, I'm going to be the owner of the property. If you want to, I will be able to provide you with proof of that before we even take any, before we close on this deal. So don't worry, everything is properly done. And the seller then says, okay, that sounds good. Just to reconfirm, can you send me your state, can you send me something that shows that your company is in good standing? So the student went to the corporation commission of that state, downloaded a quick form that shows that their LLC is in good standing. It says yeah, here you go. It shows their LLC is in good standing. With that, the buyer is now satisfied. The buyer knows that he's not going to have to shell over $5,000 before he has proof that you're actually the owner. Now, what does that mean? It means that in this case, it's not a double closing. In this case, it means that our student needs to pay the $1,000 first and do the deal. But is that a big deal? Most of us have $1,000, right? Most of us have $1,000. And by the way, if this is a bigger deal, if this would be a $50,000 deal, you would do that through the title company. And then the answer would be, hey, don't worry, I'm not the owner yet because I'm closing to the title company right now. You're going to buy it through the title company. I will never touch your money. Your money goes to the title company. If I don't follow through, if I can't deliver free and clear title, then you will get your money back. So either that, in that scenario too, the buyer should be happy. But here's the key. You gotta say those things with conviction. The way you say things is 80% of what you say. The 20% is what you say, 80% is how you say. So let's listen to that. If you get on the phone with a seller and you say the following, well, yes, the buyer. You get on the phone with the buyer and the buyer says, well, I just noticed you're not the owner. What's going on? Well, that's a good question, Well, we are buying this property. Actually, we're under contract with it, and we'll have it bought before you think. So you don't have to worry. You don't have to really give me any money before we buy this property. Are you okay with that? Is he going to be okay with that? Perhaps. Most likely no. Right? Let's go the other way. What if you say the following? Yeah, totally. I fully expected this question. I'm actually glad that you're doing your research on the property. Yes. So here's the deal. I'm actually buying this property right now. What we do, our business is we buy and sell property. We find them at bargain prices, find them at low prices. We just mark them up just a little bit. We pass these bargains on to people like you. So yes, I'm in the process of buying this right now. I should have this closed by the end of this week or early next week, and at that time all the paperwork has already been signed. It's actually being finalized right now. I'll be more than happy to provide you proof next week that I'm actually the owner of this property. So don't you worry, you don't have to send me anything until I provided that proof. But then once you've provided the proof, you're ready to move forward, right? What are you gonna say? They're gonna say yes, because you didn't evade the question. You didn't sound like you're all shy. You said almost the exact same thing, but you said it in a completely different way, right? You show what's called executive presence. You stood up, head up, whether they see you or not, they hear you, right? One, did you see my body language? Was like this. The other one is like this, right? You use those things and you tell them what is going to happen. And if you say that with conviction, it's like, yes, Mr. Buyer, I totally understand your concerns. Don't you worry. If it's a bigger deal, we're actually running this to the title company. So you don't send me the money ever. You send it to the title company. I send it to the title company. The title company has all my documents right now. We're closing in the next few days on that property. So there's nothing to worry about. If for any reason I can buy that property, then I can sell it to you. You get all the money back. There's nothing at risk. All is going to the middleman, the neutral middleman, just like you're buying a house, just like any real estate transaction in this country. Are we good with that? Okay. Yes, I guess so. That's it, right? That's it. So you do that. So that's what you tell them. So in this case, the seller asked, we told them, or my student told them, hey, yes, we're in the process of buying this property. Should be all done in the next few days. And here's my certificate of good standing. So once I own it, we'll do it. Don't worry about that. You'll be getting free and clear title on the property. Are we good with that? And then the guy said, yes. He signed the document. He sent back the documents. We are under contract to buy this property with a $500 down payment and, well, escrow deposit, and then the rest being paid at closing once proof has been provided that our students actually bought the property. Right. So now what we're doing is we're actually buying this property without a title company because it destroys the deal to pay $2,500 on a $5,000 deal. So therefore, the process for that is the following. You still got to do a title search because the quality of the title, the quality of your ownership in the property lives and dies by the quality of the chain of title, as it's called. And the chain of title is another word by the sequence of ownership of that property all the way down to like 40, 50 years in the past, and how clean that what's called chain of title is. So in other words, if 20 years ago somebody sold that property to somebody else with seller financing, and that person didn't pay that note, right? Didn't pay that loan off, then this open mortgage here is still sitting out there, and we need to find it. And if we find it, we need to find also we need to pay that off, or we need to get a charge off, or if they have paid it off, we need to find the actual payment we need to find the actual release and also record that. So it's an exercise of a title search, and then potentially an exercise in fixing title issues. Now in this case, it looks like the owners have owned this property for 30 years. We don't expect anything to happen and anything to come up there. It's only worth $5,000 or $7,000, $8,000. So chances are they never took a seller financing loan on it. So we expect the chain of title to be totally clean. So what our student is doing is he's hiring an abstractor company, or sometimes you can also find an escrow company that charges you just a few $100s to manage being the middleman but not do the title insurance. But in this case, it's an abstractor that's going to do the title search for that, bring the title search back to the student and their coach, in this case me. We're going to look at the title results. We're going to identify if there's anything that needs to be fixed in that title report. And assuming there's nothing that needs to be fixed, where the student is going to draw up a new deed and send that deed to the seller for the seller to sign. The seller signs it and notarizes it, sends it back to you, and then or to the student, and then you send that deed for recording. That closes. With that, the ownership transfer has happened. It's all it takes. And at that moment, the moment that has happened, you as the investor, my student in this case, sends also that seller the $1,000. Is the seller's going to be fine? Yes, the seller's going to be fine because it comes down to the same confidence level. Could the seller say, I'm not going to send you the $1,000 before I get the deed? And you can say, I'm not going to send you the deed before I get the $1,000. Yes, but that happens, but not at the $1,000 level. And not if you have been in touch with your seller on an ongoing basis, if you have been in communication with your sellers, if you have a good relationship with your seller, if they know that you're a stand-up person, and then you just tell the seller, hey, Mr. Seller, we're going to close on this deal. I'm ready to send you the deed. I'll send it to you in the next couple of days. Do you have a notary public? Do you have a bank? Is there a UPS store close by that you can go to? Great. Wonderful. I'll send you the documents. You sign the documents, need to notarize them, FedEx them back to me, and I'll include a FedEx envelope. And then once I have it back, I'll send you the $1,000. That does work? Good. In 9 out of 10 cases, they say yes. If they don't say yes, then you'll say, okay, great, and I'll send it directly to the UPS store and I'll include the check there. So when you sign and notarize it, we'll advise the UPS clerk to give you a check and then you send it back. This is ninja stuff, guys. This is stuff that you can use to literally do self-closings without using a title company, saving you a couple of $1,000s, particularly on these low-end deals, right? So this is the process we're going through with them right now. And hey, Selah, hey, Marlene, well, this is the process we're doing with our students right now, with the student right now, and then he's going to have made his $3,000, $4,000 on that deal. Now, the third deal is going to be a hybrid deal. The third deal is a deal where he's selling the property for $27,000. So we could also do a self-close, but at $27,000, the likelihood is high. It's a seller financing deal, right? They're selling at $27,000 with an $8,000 down payment. But the likelihood here, the seller is owed $17,000 on the deal. So the likelihood that the seller is going to send you the paperwork and then you send them a $17,000 check, is fairly low. At that level, the seller is going to be like, no, come on, I want the third party in the middle, or I'm not going to send you that deed without you sending me the money. And obviously you're not going to send the money without having the deed. So in that case, we're probably going to do a hybrid solution. And the hybrid solution is the following. We're probably going to use a title company for the purchase of the lot, but then not a title company for the sale of the lot. Because selling a lot with seller financing our way, using our land contract, is as simple as having them fill out the 3-page land sale agreement, which is document 16A and B in the Land Profit Generator, or also in our coaching program. Right? We have them fill out this form, have them sign it, you as the investor sign it, and they start making their monthly payments. It's as simple as that, right? So you want to potentially use a title company on the purchasing side, but not on the selling side for a seller financing need. There's no need for it. You don't need a title company to fill out a form of that size and put a signature on the bottom, right? So we have 3 different deals that I talked to you about right now. One is a $30,000 profit deal. Purchase price $75,000, sale price $107,000 minus closing costs. It's a $30,000 profit. That's title company on the purchasing side, title company on the selling side. Pay the fees. Buyer pays. The student paid the fees on the buying side, and the buyer pays the fees on the selling side. Right. So that works. The second deal, a small cash deal, but it's so small that it doesn't work to pay the $2,000 in the title insurance. So therefore, it's a self-close deal. The third deal is a hybrid deal, or it's a part 1, part 2. Like, it's a title company on the purchasing side, no title company on the selling side. So as you hear that, as you listen to that, not every deal is the same way, guys. And that's why it's so important that you know how to handle these deals, that you have somebody by your side. So again, that's what we do in coaching. So with that all set, again, register for the next masterclass, Land Profit Master. The masterclass starts on January 18th for 5 full days, every day at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Michelle and I are going to go live for about 60 to 90 minutes, taking you from zero all the way to being the CEO of your land flipping business in a fully automated business. Know how to do that, giving you the steps to get your first deal in a matter of 30 to 60 days potentially, and show you how to become the CEO and how to build a fully scalable 6 and even 7-figure business. We teach you that all for free on January 18th. So go on to register on our Land Profit Master. It's not happening in this group. It's happening in a separate Facebook group. So you got to go and register for it right now. With that said, guys, this is my Winning Wednesday today. I hope you enjoyed this. We're looking forward to getting your feedback, getting your comments. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Enjoyed this episode? Then make sure you like, subscribe, and post your comments and questions below the video. We're looking forward to hearing from you.